All right, in this video, we're going to work on your first orthographic drawing. And wow, I pulled my page mark out and lost my page. Here we go. In this edition of the textbook, it's chapter 6, exercise 6.5, number 1. We're going to draw this little piece up here, and I shall attempt to zoom in on it. And so this particular draw, we're going to draw this one. We're going to draw a front view, top view, and a side view. And I put the measurements in Blackboard. If you look at it, you can see the index marks coming down the sides. Across the back, they're kind of divided into, like, 3 segments there, 3 segments there, whatever. So I'm telling you, it's 3.5 long, 2 deep, 1.5 tall, and 0.75 thick on the here in the bottom, and then we'll go 0.5 thick over here. So that's what we're going to draw. Now, to begin with, you're going to have. I'm giving you a piece of a B-size sheet, and it will. I need to move my book around here. It will have a title, a border and a title bar on it. I do not have any of those here at home with me at the moment, or the ones I had won't work. So I've just drawn me one, but you'll have a pre-printed title block. And what we do when we're doing hand drawings is we have to space our object so that it fits on our paper. Now, and what we need is we need the length of the object, the depth of the object, and the height of the object. And so my length is 3.5 inches. Let me get a darker pencil. My depth is 2.0, and my height was 1.5. And so the formula is to calculate my horizontal spacing. I take the length of my paper horizontally, and you're going to measure from border to border. And in this case, that's going to be 16 inches. And then we subtract from that the length and the depth, because that's the views that we'll be placing there. So we'll subtract 3.5 and subtract 2.0. And that leaves me with 10.5. That I divide by 3, because we have 3 spaces between the views. And so that gives me 3.5 inches. So that would be my horizontal spacing. Vertically, very similar. You take a vertical measurement of your paper, which in this case would be 9.5. And then you subtract the height and the depth, height of the front view, and the depth of the top view. And that leaves you with an even 6.0 divided by 3 equals 2. So that's our spacings. So now, what we'll do, I'm going to try it with my 0.3 lead. Let me zoom back out here. Okay, so from the left side, you would measure over your horizontal spacing, which for us is 3.5, so 3.5. And you do the same from the right side of the border. Come back 3.5. And then you can draw your vertical lines now. You can do it, after you've measured the other spacings. Yeah, I probably should go with my thicker pencils there so you can see that. So these are construction lines. So you're going to draw these as light and as faint as you possibly can. Now my vertical spacing was 2 inches. So once again, excuse me, I measure up 2 inches from the top of the title block, and down 2 inches from the border, okay, and so now I've blocked in where my views are going to go. Front view here, right side view, top view. If you like doing the 45-degree projection, draw it from the corner of the spacing there. And now you've got, we've got it blocked out for what we want to draw. Yeah, we do a lot of construction lines when we're doing with paper drawings. So let's start with our front view. We know it's 3.5 long. So I can come over 3.5. And I knew it was 1.5 tall. And I'm just, I just went ahead and made the mark for the other views since I'm here making those marks. Okay, so let's, our L shape here was 0.75 to the right and across, so I'll go 3/4 of an inch. And I know it was a 1/2 inch over here, so I could go ahead and do that while I'm making marks. And then from the bottom was up 3/4 of an inch. Okay. Okay, so there's got my outline of my front view, and I've got this little notch, which is what, 1.5 inches from the right. And so we have a visible line here for that. And that's got that pretty well blocked in. So I'm going to clean up my overage just a little bit. And we'll deal with our holes and hidden lines after we do our top view. Okay. All right, so top view. We see we've got a rectangle on the left side there, and a small rectangle on the right side that has the depth of that. Maybe we should draw our side view first. So let's, okay, so our depth is 2 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and put a mark up there. And then we look at it from the end, and we see this notch from here. It's going to show up in this view, and that is 3/4 of an inch deep. So let's measure over 3/4. and that notch goes all the way up. Okay, because both ends, the left and the right end, are the same height. We would have a visible line and then a hidden line across here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my visible line, but I'm going to wait about drawing the hidden line as that goes across. And then the only thing left are the hidden lines for the holes. So let me clean up my corners on this. Okay, I think you can see that that well enough for right now. And then we'll darken. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and darken them now. That'll make it a little easier for you to see what we're going to do as we move through this. So I'm going to darken all my visible lines. All right, now we can look at our top view, and I projected up my two depths from here. You could measure, you can project. This first one will be the front edge of my top view. This one is the depth of the notch, which is here, and I know it goes over to that point right there, so I just drew it just a little bit long. And this I can project up, like so. Okay, and then now I can look at, well, I got the two edges here. I need to project these up. And then I've got holes. And the holes, I said the holes were a 1/2 inch diameter. And if we look at the text, the first one, it looks like it's like 1 inch over to the center. And I'm going to guess a 1/2 inch back. So we'll go with that. We'll go 1 inch over. No. Won't be 1 inch. We'll go with 1 1/4 work. Yeah, 1 1/4. We'll go 1 1/4 over and let's see, let's go with 3/8 back. And that was a 1/2 inch diameter. And then the other one looks to be centered on this notch line here. And we'll go the same distance from the back. So we'll go 3/8 from the rear. And we'll center it on that notch. And so now that'll be another 1/2 inch circle. Okay, now we'll do some erasing and cleaning up right there. Okay, now we can project our hidden lines from our top view down to the front view and over to the side view. And I'm going to go ahead and project and draw them in. Instead of going back and retracing it. And remember, hidden lines, the dashes should be about 1/8 of an inch long. And the spaces between those should be about 1/16 of an inch. And since the center line is on that actual visible line there, we won't draw a center line here. Okay, and now we would project from our top view over and down into our side view. Okay, and so now I can, well, let's get our hidden line across this view. And now we can do our holes. And center lines. Yeah, finish this center line here. and then darken in my top view and finish up all my erasing. Now, all that's left is me to clean up erasing, and then you'll fill in the title block information. And since I don't have an actual title block, I'm not going to demonstrate that, but you can, and there we go. I got my finished drawing here. So I got everything cleaned up, center lines, hidden lines. You're going to fill in your title block information. And make sure it's nice and clean, and you'll turn this into the lab.